Today I'm going to be talking about Arsenal Reloaded and its new beta test that just released, so sit back and enjoy the show. First, I just want to say, by opening this video, I'm kinda disappointed with the beta. So first I'm going to go over the good stuff and then the bad stuff. So first let's talk about cosmetics. There's not really much to say about the cosmetics in the game. It's pretty much the same from classic Arsenal. They said there was a give all command that was apparently added, but it didn't work. I didn't get all the cosmetics. That was supposed to be added as a test. And as far as cosmetics go, there's nothing really new. It's all just recycled from Arsenal so far, because, I mean, it's just a beta test. Now, let's talk about the details and the audio, which is probably the best part about the game. The details and the audio are actually pretty good. And the guns have new sounds, and they sound very cool, and it's pretty refreshing because it's a new sound. Also, there's also footstep audio, just like the last test, and the muzzle flash and laser effects are new as well, and they look a lot better. But I'm mostly excited for the footstep audio, because now you can hear enemies around corners and get prepared instead of just being flanked from every direction without being able to prepare at all. So I think this is the most positive change to the game. Now let's talk about things that are not as good or just straight up something I didn't like. So the maps first. The maps are pretty much okay. They're a lot of the same maps from the old game, but maps like Sandtown and Dizzy got remastered and look very different. I'm not sure if I really like the changes to the old maps, but maybe it's because I'm just used to the old ones. But I guess it could be kind of cool if they wanted to remaster the maps instead of just straight up recycling them. But the important thing is the new map. I'm not sure if there's multiple new maps, but I only played one called Slaughter. So basically, this map has a big room in the middle, and it has like hallways on the side, and there's entrances to them with doors. Once again, they're making so many maps that have long lines of sight. It causes everyone to stay in one area, because you can literally see the enemy spawn. And I'm not sure why Valve has been doing this so much with their maps. They did it with Ruins and Arsenal, and they even did it with their other early access game, Enforcement. Every map was just kinda big, and they had long lines of sight where people just sit in one spot and snipe at each other. And it kills the pace of the game, because all you have to do is sit in one spot, peek and shoot quickly and hope you hit somebody. I really hope that Valve goes back to making smaller or medium-sized maps that have more cover or corners, so that forces people to move a little bit more instead of just camping. Now, let's talk about the movement mechanics. So, the movement in this game feels like I'm playing Arsenal, but I've just snorted crack cocaine. The guns that have knockback on you when you shoot them, they hit you back with tremendous force, even compared to the original game, which I don't know how it's possible because you can already fly in the original. There's even a grapple shotgun, which I think they're gonna change. I really hope they do. But anyways, there's a grapple shotgun where if you look at something and right click, it'll make a grapple hook and you just fly to it instantly. Like, the transportation in this game is absolutely insane, and it's too much. Even with the Barrett or the double barrel shotgun, you fly everywhere with it. And not to mention, I never got the golden knife, but it makes you literally faster than the speed of sound. Like, it's just so unbalanced, and I really hope they tone down the movement speed of some of the weapons because it's way too fast. I guess it's to make up for some of the bigger maps, but it's still too fast in my opinion. Now, the bugs. There's not that many annoying bugs, but the most annoying bug in this game is the weapon FOV. No matter how much you change your FOV, your gun will always be like really close to your character's body for some reason. And sometimes it's even off the screen, and I just hate the way that looks. Like, the pistols, for example, are always like off the screen. It just looks really weird. And I can tell that this wasn't intentional, because if you try to use some weapons that have ADS, like the Falcor, you actually can't even see the gun sights, and it makes it impossible to ADS. So I don't know if it's being caused by minimized view models, which I always have on, but that's weird because I've never had this issue on classic Arsenal. But with that being said, that's pretty much like the only bug really that annoys me. Now let's talk about probably one of the worst mechanics in the game, which is the gunplay. The gunplay, in general, just feels awful. The shots feel way harder to hit. Granted, my aim was trash and I was getting destroyed, so maybe I have a bit of a skill issue. But I replayed some of my clips, and 100% there were some shots that should have hit that just didn't register. I mean, just look at this railgun clip. I should have had a collateral. I'll even pause it right there. Yep, the shots just go straight through people, and it happens very often. And I've talked to some people in-game, a lot of them agree that the shots just feel way harder to hit. Also, dead upon shot register is still a thing too, but it's just that the game doesn't tell you that. Instead, what happens is a bullet hole will appear on your enemy, but it just applies no damage. And it's just even more annoying, to be honest. The guns in general just feel more clunky and nowhere near as smooth as the original game, and I hope this gets changed because it just makes the game way less fun. Now, this next part might arguably be the worst part so far, and I want to address the hackers and the cheaters. I've only played in like 3 lobbies. Every single lobby I encountered a hacker, which is not good. The cheats are as bad, if not worse, than the hacks used in the original game. People can aimbot, they can no-clip, infinite ammo and fire rate, just like the old game. But they even got on the purple and orange team, which I've never seen before. It's also very common to see more than one hacker in the game at once. I'm not sure if the original Arsenal has anti-cheat, but I'm pretty sure it does, because at one point I used to see hackers all the time, but then one day they just like disappeared. There was like no hackers, and they actually got IP banned. But of course, since this game is new, there isn't really an anti-cheat measure, I think, so anyone can just hack. And I don't know if this clip right here was a hack, but there's this clip where it said I was on the final weapon, and then I got a kill, and it says the other person won. So I won for them, and I was on the final weapon. I don't think it was a hack, it might have just been really bugged. I honestly don't know what that is because I've never seen it before. But yeah, I think everything in this game is mostly broken. Overall, the rating I would have to give this game is a D. I'm not gonna lie, this beta test with the few matches I played felt really disappointing. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude or anything. I get that these games take a lot of hard work to make, and they've been developing this game for a long time. But the game has continued to go through development, yet it has gotten worse. The A2 test they released over a year ago, I think it was around October 2022, was actually better than this beta test, even though the game was in a much earlier state than this one. The old A2 test at least felt somewhat like Arsenal. The weapons had similar mechanics and the movement was relatively the same, and it also had some of the better effects and the audio and the graphics, which I think is better. The hit registration that was off was still present in the older test, but it's gotten worse now, and I don't know how. I feel like this beta is just so clunky, and they're just changing the core mechanics of the game way too much. What I think they should have done instead is that they should just stick to something similar to what they had in the previous test build, but just have better audio and effects. I honestly don't even feel like there's a need to have a whole nother game, because this is just Arsenal but with worse mechanics, and it's being rebranded as a new game with different reskin maps and weapons. And now, I know this is just a beta test and that everything is subject to change, but I just really hope that this game doesn't release in a state similar to this, because it does not feel like anywhere near completed. If this game does release in a state, then I predict that this game will probably die in a month or two and everyone will just return to the classic game, because this game doesn't feel like the Arsenal we know. It feels a lot worse. Anyways, that's just my quick review on the Arsenal Reloaded beta test. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me or disagree with me, why you liked or didn't like the game. And I really hope this game does get better, because I'm a huge fan of Arsenal. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Open the ones I found. I remember making them.